Hello, in this video, I'm going to go over how to create opportunities, bids, and jobs, and then schedule a job that you have just won. Everything starts out as an opportunity, so we'll go there. And to add a new opportunity, we're going to click in the top left corner, Add Opportunity. From there, we have some information to fill out, such as the type of work that we're going to be doing, the source of how our client heard about us, and when this opportunity is due. And now we're going to add our client, property, and manager. So if they're in there already, we can start typing and we can add them. If they are not in there, we have the option to add item. So if I click on add item, I can start to add their address. So if I just go 1500 West Gulf Road and space, I have a list here that I can pull from. And now, the reason I want to choose from that list is because it gives me a latitude and longitude so that PavementSoft can use these coordinates for different features inside of PavementSoft. Very important that we click from that list. If that list doesn't show up or the exact address you're looking for, just continue to type and it will eventually show up. Now, the way this works is you have a client, a property, and a manager. Your client is going to be where you are going to build the work. Your property is going to be where you're going to actually do the work. And then your manager is going to be your point of contact for the job. Now, if it's a homeowner, of course, each of these items, the client, property, and manager will have the same address as well as the same name. So if it is, say we're doing work for a homeowner, what I can do is click this copy data from client to property, and it will copy over the address, and same for the manager. That way I'm not having to enter in the same information 3 different times. Now, once you do that, you can click add, and it'll input that information in for you. But I'm going to use somebody that we have already, Vandalay Industries, and I'm going to choose this address and this manager. Now, if it's the same client, but you're adding a new property, you can just click the X here, or it works the exact same way as client, where if you start typing and it is not there, you can click add item. And that property or manager will always be associated with the client that you add them under. Here we have some notes that are internal only. Some work order notes that will show up on the work order for the crew, and then we can choose what the scope of work is that we're going to do for this job. Now, this is very helpful. Say if you have a receptionist or a helper that takes the call, they can choose the scope of work so that you have an idea of what this client wants to have done. From there, say again, it will say test because that is the account I'm in. But if a receptionist is the one taking the call, they can choose which salesperson this is going to go to, as well as an office if you have more than one office. And if you have an estimator that helps you out, you can choose out who that will be. So for now, everything looks good. I'm just going to click save. And that gives me a couple new options up here at the top. I can add some documents to this opportunity if I want to do so, as well as look at the bids associated with this opportunity. As we don't have any bids associated with this opportunity, this area is blank here, but it does give me the option to click new bid, and we are going to do that. So with that new bid clicked, we have all of our information here from our opportunity, and we are now in bid 148. So our next step will be to go to items, as we want to add items that we're going to do for this job. So I can search to type, and here's all of my asphalt items, proposal items, and I don't have any other other items, but if I did, they would show up there. So we are just going to do asphalt overlay. Here's our title. It fills our title out for us, as well as our proposal verbiage for this item, which you can set in your settings under proposal items, as well as the cost blocks that are needed to do this job. So we have our asphalt. We can start filling out our area. Where we're going to get our asphalt from, we have a search feature here as well. Surface square yard at 2 inches depth. It's going to give me 44.93 tons needed for this job. Or if we wanted to do a different, we can still change to square yards. So 397.44 tons. And the reason we're getting a different number here is because the weight factor for these items are different. So for a square yard, the weight factor is 115. For square feet, the weight factor is about, I want to say 15, I think it is. And the way weight factor works, if you don't know, is it is 1 foot by 1 foot, or 1 yard by 1 yard at 1 inch depth. So at 1 yard by 1 yard at 1 inch depth, the amount of material needed to fill in that area weighs 115 pounds. So that's kind of an idea of what weight factor is and how that factors into helping us know what our tonnage is. So from there, we can fill out our TAC, and it pulls our area from our asphalt cost block. We can do square yard at edge of patch. That lets me know I need 69.12 yards, or gallons, excuse me. I can override this if I want to bring more or less gallons. But then we can move on to our trucking. It pulls our tons from our asphalt cost block as well. And we're going to use Virginia Trucking. And all of this information default fills from our direct costs and trucking. So I can override the number of trucks as well, but everything is good here. So we can move on to labor. I'm going to bring, for this job, our paving crew number 2, which is our 10-man crew, for 1 day at 10 hours. And then any additional costs if we want to add them. We can search here as well. I'm going to bring a water truck, apply, and now we have our water truck. So now we can look down here at our summary. We have our proposal price, excuse me. So our direct cost, what it's going to cost me to do this job. Our gross margin, we're looking at 23%, and what that number is. Overhead, I'm going to add 5%. Well, I'm actually going to add 8%. So that's changed our price now. We're looking at 23.08% profit margin. And what that number is, we can adjust this number as well as this number. We can also adjust by the price per area. So we're looking at $11.98 per square yard, or $104.19 per ton. We can adjust that if we want to get, say we want to try and get $105 per ton, we can go ahead and do that. We're going to add our 5.7% tax, and so now we have our actual total here at 41,410.50. So everything looks good here, and save. So now we have our asphalt item. This is perfect. So what we can do now is, since we've got our item, we can go to our measure tool and add an image of the job. So this is something that I was working on that I just am going to pull up. We'll do target. Perfect. So we've got a dig out area here, but we've got our area here. So what I can do now is click the snapshot button and rename this target. I will save with measurement information, and I'm going to attach this right now to bid 148, which is what we were just working on. Save. So now we can go back to our application. It's also going to ask me if I want to save it to my computer. I do not at this time. So bids, and our most recent bid is up here at the top, so 148. So now in my documents tab, I can see that I have our image from our measure tool, and now I can go into my proposal. So we have target here, which is the image that we just added. I'm going to add that to our proposal, as well as our proposal attachments. We have a couple options here, which is our COI, Certificate of Insurance, and I'm going to add that as well. Click Save, and then View Print Proposal. Here's our proposal. This is our client's information, as well as our logo. This is our company information. Here's our asphalt item with our verbiage, a price total, tax, and a grand total. Here's our agreement and our terms and conditions. Now, of course, this is completely customizable to you and what you want. Here is our image from our measure tool, as well as our COI. So if everything looks good, our next step will be to close this window out, and we're going to be presented with a couple options here. We have save and send with my email, send with DocuSign, or save and send, which is just saving, with the option to send at a later time, of course. So I'm just going to save it, and now that document is going to be, our proposal, excuse me, is now forever going to be in our Documents tab until I delete it. Um, so what this does, if I click share, it creates a public link that I can share as long as I am still sharing this. Once I stop sharing this, the public link is no longer valid. You do have some options here. Once you click download, you can download this as a PDF to your computer or print it as well. So now that we've sent out our proposal and we've heard back, we've been awarded the job. So our next step is to come to details, and from there we can click 1. So yes, congratulations, we're going to be awarded a job number. Perfect. So yes. So it brings us to our job details tab. Now from there we can say yes, we do have a signed proposal. Is there a special start time? Yes. 7:30 a.m. Hauling permit, no. And we don't have to fill these out if we don't want to. We don't need any of this stuff. Or traffic control job is marked, yes. We also have some work order details here we can add. Now this will be a preface on our work order. I'm just going to write test just to show you where that will show up. And we can add some images to the work order as well. Here's our direction, which is our yard location, as well as where we are getting our asphalt from. So I'm going to save this now, and we can view our job documents if we want to do so, and I can show you what these are really quick. Now, these are going to be, we'll have a couple directions here, from the yard to the job, from the job to the asphalt plant for the truckers, and then we have a project summary sheet, a cover sheet, a product confirmation sheet, which is our job details page, and then our proposal, or our work order, excuse me. So here's test, here's our preface area, our confirmation sheet, our info about our asphalt, work order totals here, and what labor, what crew. So again, with everything here, you can download it as a PDF to your computer or print it right from here. But for now, we're going to close this out. And because we were given that job number, what we can do is we can use the schedule now. So our newest jobs are going to be down at the bottom because we want to get our oldest jobs done first, of course. So we've got our asphalt overlay. We can view the weather for the next 7 days here. It's looking pretty good. And then, so what is that? Tuesday, Monday is looking pretty good. Now we will add, to schedule this job, we want to click schedule, and then we can just click and drag now we've got this job scheduled to our schedule. So I can double click this to view the information about the job. We can send a notify client email if we wish to do so, saying that, dear so-and-so, in this case Art Vandelay, this job has been scheduled for this time at this date. And then we can view our job packet, which is all the pages I just showed you, or print our work order. Um, Now, if when the work is done, I can click work done and click save. And now I can see that this is lightly grayed out compared to this to let you know that it is saved or done, excuse me. Now save. So that is a quick rundown of how to create an opportunity, take that opportunity and turn it into a bid, win that bid and create a job number, and then how to schedule that job. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me at support@pavementsoft.com. Thank you so much.